Uncle Storytime Story 1: Paranormal Experiences of My Mother and I. In my second previous story, I related about how my parents heard what sounded like a woman screaming in the bushes. In this next post, I will also relate other accounts that my mom experienced and also a very personal incident that happened to me as an adult. This all happened in the house where I was born, also where the story of the screaming lady took place. Of all the incidents that happened to my mom, 3 stick out in her mind as particularly bizarre. Back in those days, toilets and bathrooms were separately built from the house, and ours was about 3 meters away from our house. So one night, my mom needs to visit the bathroom, and as she steps out of our front door to go, she notices a dense white mist floating, or rather hanging, from a tree not far from the bathroom and toilet building. What was even weirder about it was that it was so outstandingly white against the darkness, it didn't move at all, despite the slight breeze that swayed the branches. A bit. All the same, my mom was creeped out and stayed, didn't leave the house that night. The second incident was when my mom went to take a bath, and as she was bathing, someone moved the window, and what she said seemed to be a shadow looked in. Only the head part. My mom thought it was probably my dad and told him to stop playing pranks, and that shadow left soon after my mom went to ask my dad why he was poking around the bathroom and looked in while she was bathing, which he flatly denied that he did, and he was in the house all the time. Even then, my mom wasn't convinced. The third and final incident happened after my grandfather passed away, Mom's father, where she saw his full-bodied apparition walk past her. It was a split second, and she said she looked directly at it. She believes that it was her father trying to say that he's still around, guiding her. It was only after the first 2 incidents that my mom came to find out that one of my dad's uncles had gotten murdered, and that his aunt had buried his blood-stained clothes by that tree not far from the bathroom area. This incident happened to both me and my cousin years later. I was 20 at the time. We had stored all of our belongings in my grandfather's garage. At the time, we were moving into our own place, so I and my cousin spent an entire day sorting through furniture and other belongings. When that was done, whatever we didn't need, we decided to burn. So both of us go to the back of the house, which connects to the woods/bush area, and start burning stuff like old papers and other sorts of junk. As we standing there smoking and watching everything burn, we both hear what sounds like a lady calling me by my name, coming from the woods. At first, both of us were talking then, when we heard that we kept quiet to listen. Again, we heard my name being called in a louder voice from the same direction. As far as I know, nobody went past us into the bush, and it was just my cousin, myself, and my grandfather there at the time. We both left that place as fast as we could and waited inside until it was time to load up and leave. Story 2: My experiences with black magic, where I come from. We do believe that there are people around us that are capable of doing stuff to harm us, cause rifts in our family, drop us down financially, and lastly, even cause death in some cases. In this submission, I will write about some of the experiences I've had, and even a close brush with death due to the effects of black magic. It's amazing how we tend to block out the negative events in our lives and lock it up in some dark recess of our minds, and all it took for me was a conversation with a friend of mine for all those horrible memories to come flooding back. This started in the year 2013, and we had moved into the basement of my late grandfather's house. One uncle of mine had lived in the main building above the basement with his wife and 2 children, and another uncle lived in the small cottage-type house on the same property. In the beginning, everything was going really great. We got in well with everyone, after all, their family, and we usually kept to ourselves. But slowly, things started turning for the worst. There were constant fights at home. Every small issue would turn into a full-blown argument where we would say the harshest of things to each other, something which has never ever happened before. No matter how much I'd save, I'd always be broke to the point where I ran into debt. I'd have the most terrible dreams about some evil thing trying to kill me. I'd hear my name being called, especially when I was alone, and hear a baby cry right outside my room window at night. The moment I would put my head on the pillow to sleep, I'd hear weird type of music and conversations with people that I couldn't clearly hear or understand, and I'd see black shadows inside the house. I would get sick often, like really bad, coughing up blood, not being able to walk or stand properly. By this time, I had spent a small fortune on medical bills and medications which weren't helping me at all. All medical examinations came up clear. The last straw was when there was a huge fight between my mum and brother and I, which resulted in a fist fight, something which we've never done in the past, between my brother and I. I sat and thought to myself that none of this is normal. We've never been this way. I've never gotten sick this way as well, with very little recovery. And that's when I decided to find help from someone who is sort of a medium, and that's when she revealed that it was my uncle's wife, and her mother used to do stuff for our family to fall apart and end up in a pathetic condition, and to be reliant on them. With this confirmation, we started being more aware when they were around. I even caught her mother digging by my mum's flower bed garden, by mum's room window, and burying stuff there. But fortunately for us, we found out and took precautions to protect ourselves from whatever they tried to do. We have since then moved into our own house and are very much better. When we moved, we didn't bother telling anyone where we're moving to. Except for the occasional, unexplainable incident now and then, everything seems to be great.